What's going on, everybody? We're back. It's been a minute. I still don't feel that great, but we're going to get through this. Game three, WNBA Finals. I hope we get a good contest on Friday, but I'm not for sure if we will or not. So, might be the last big one. 10K to first. Let's look and see kind of what if we're going to have some overlay. I may make an extra contest or two, or an extra entry or two if we're going to have overlay. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of overlay. So we'll have some fun. We'll see. I'll go through these teams real quick. Not a lot I need to really talk about. Like, it's pretty straightforward, in my opinion, on a slate like this. I mean, we've got on the New York side, for me personally, like, it's hard for me to recommend playing someone like Baby Sabali or Kayla Thornton, who both are probably only going to see like 7 to 8 minutes. Like Baby Sabali, 6 and 9 minutes. Kayla Thornton, 7 and 11 minutes. Like 11 minutes, 3.5 fantasy points. 7 minutes, 0 fantasy points. I would probably rather just punt a 0. Like, if you're paying down, I would rather just take a 0 than play either of them. I do think Vandersloot, or whatever you want to call her, I do think she is a sneaky value play. 4,800. Obviously, she did not play well last game, only 11 minutes. But game one, 23 minutes, 10 peripheral stats. Obviously, you're looking for games where she scores well, but she's pretty sneaky at 4,800. I mean, that's a big discount, almost 2K cheaper than the last showdown slate she was on. So I think there's a little bit of sneakiness with her. And then all the starters, I think all of them are firmly in play. Stewie's my favorite, obviously, at the top at 11.4K. I mean, it's Brianna Stewart. I mean, not much needs to be said about her. She's incredible. Just built in massive usage. Going to play practically the entire game. 43 of a possible 45 minutes, 38 of a possible 40, 6 of 21, 7 of 18. She's just going to shoot the ball a ton. She's going to get a ton of peripheral stats. 8 stocks last game, obviously. Like, she's not going to get 7 steals again, but big ceiling. I think you start every build pretty much like with her and Fee, and then just figure it out from there. Obviously, if you start your build with those two, depending on who you're playing at captain, means you probably are going to have to fade one, if not both, of Sabrina or JJ. So if you're playing a bunch of lineups, obviously you can fade Stewie or Fee. But I just think more times than not, like a lot more times than not, they're both going to find the optimal. I think Bernard Delaney is going to go a little bit over-owned coming off of her big game. Played the most minutes of the playoffs last game because she shot so well. Still, the peripheral stats haven't been the best for her of late. That's a little bit concerning. Big scoring game out of her, 20 real-life points, 28 fantasy points. Don't really love the median there. So I think she's going to go a little bit over-owned. I'm going to be underweight to the field on that for sure. Fibich at 6K. She's just going to play a lot. Like, obviously, game one, shot 6 of 14, 5 of 9 from 3. That's where you're going to see her ceiling game. Saw it against the Aces the game before. But she has some peripheral upside. Like, if she's going to get 8 to 10 peripheral stats and then take 4 to 6 threes, like, there's some good upside in playing someone like Fibich. And then on the Minnesota side, a lot like New York, they're going to run a pretty tight rotation. Last game, Misha Hines-Allen only played 9 minutes. You had Dorka play a very mini rotation of 2. Then you had Zandalasini, saw 8 minutes. But the main contributor off the bench was Natisha Heidemann, who played 19 minutes. Another thing, she did not have that good of a game. 9.5 fantasy points in 19 minutes. Game before that, in 13 minutes, she put up 19 fantasy points. So the fact that she stayed out there when she was not playing that well bodes well for her. I think her minutes are pretty safe. Just like with New York, I don't really want to play Misha Hines-Allen or Zandalasini if they're not going to see over 10 minutes. I would just rather punt a 0. And I would just rather play Natisha Heidemann over Misha Hines-Allen no matter what. Like, yeah, if Alana Smith was to get in massive foul trouble, Misha Hines-Allen's going to be in the optimal. But would it shock me if Alana Smith gets in foul trouble and they play Dorka over Misha Hines-Allen? No, nothing would shock me from Cheryl Reeve. I don't get surprised by her anymore. But then like all the starters like are firmly in play. I like Kayla McBride. She's the cheapest, $7K. I think she's going to be fairly popular, but she's coming off a bad game, so that may keep the ownership down a little bit. She's just going to play big minutes. This game here went to overtime, 43 of a possible 45 minutes. Obviously, she's not going to really pitch in much on the peripheral stats, but if she shoots the ball well, she's going to find the optimal, especially at her price point. I prefer her over Bridget. Bridget's just been really, really rough of late. I mean, just not shooting the three ball well at all. So if she's not shooting the three ball well, she's not really going to pitch in much in the peripheral stats. So, I mean, she has single-digit floor, and her ceiling really hasn't been that crazy of late. Obviously, like earlier in the season in the Commissioner's Cup, she went for 40. So obviously has a big ceiling if the shot's falling. Alana Smith is another player that I'm really, really high on at 7,800. First game against New York, 30 minutes, 3 of 8 shooting, but she just stacked in the peripheral stats, 13, 4 stocks, 33 fantasy points. Played to north of a fantasy point per minute player, which is what I expect from her. Then last game, 31 minutes, only 4 peripheral stats. Didn't shoot the ball well, but only 20 fantasy points. I think she's due for like positive regression there. Courtney Williams, 8,400. She's just been doing it all. Like she's stuffing the stat sheet with the peripheral stats. She's shooting the ball a ton. I mean, she probably has triple-double upside, so I definitely think there's merit to playing her. And then Fee at the top. I mean, best play on the slate, in my opinion. Just so much built-in usage. She's a great defender. I mean, reigning depoy. 4 steals last game. 9 stocks in game 1. I mean, game 1 it was her getting all the stocks. Game 2 it was Stewie. So one of those two are going to go crazy. I mean, she's just a walking 50 burger. Last game, only 12 shots. Fully expect that to go up a little bit, especially playing at home. So not a lot needs to be said on this showdown. It's pretty straightforward. You just have to nail the mid-range. The decider for tonight's game is this mid-range right here. Bridget Carrollton, Kayla McBride, Benaja Laney, and Leonie Fevich. And then nailing like one of Sloot or Heidemann. One of those are probably going to find the optimal. And then 2 here in the mid-range probably find the optimal as well. So lots of fun ways to go. I always love stuff like this. Like these slates, I'm not big on showdown slates. I always like variance always gets me. But like for the showdown here, when it's at the end of the year, the rotations are so tight. It's fun because you can take a 0. If you want to take a 0, you absolutely can. I just never have luck with it. So I try to find ways to get different where I don't have to. You definitely want, like, if you're taking a 0, I would not like take 1.5 zeros. If you're taking a full 0, I would not play like a Zandalasini or a Thornton or a Baby Sobley or a Misha Hines-Allen as well. I think you can group like Sloot and Heidemann in a different tier than them. So if you're taking a full 0, I think you can play Natisha Heidemann and Sloot in that as well. But I would not play Hines-Allen, Baby Sobley, Thornton with or Zandalasini if you're taking a full 0. I just think you're sacrificing too much going that route. But let's see what kind of questions we got here. Let's see if we've got – I'm sure starters are the same. So I would be shocked if anybody changed. Yeah. Same starters. Let's see here. Let's go. Last live before lock of the year. It's been a crazy ride. Been a lot of fun. Wanted to mention this. Once the finals are over, gonna have like a little montage on the YouTube channel, like with all the winners. So if you guys want your screenshots to be shared, be sure to DM me on Twitter or in Discord. That way I don't miss anything. But I'm going to have a big video, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next year. But I'm really looking forward to it. But sad that this year is about to be over. FanDuel single game super weird since there's no captain. Yeah. Thoughts on jamming in both? Nope. I would absolutely, since there's no upcharge on FanDuel, I think you have to play Fee and Stewie, and I think it's just you're just playing them at MVP and Star, and I wouldn't play anyone else in those two. It's just like crazy how much higher of like a floor ceiling combo both of those have. I think you either play Fee at MVP or Stewie at MVP, just because like they're going to dominate the usage on their teams, and they both have a lot of stock upside. They're both going to dominate the peripheral stats. So I would play one of those two at MVP in every lineup I made. But I would not fade either of them in any of those lineups. Thoughts on going Heidemann captain? I don't hate it. I definitely do not hate it. I think tonight's going to be the night where a mid-range captain wins it. I just have that feeling. So that's the way I'm building. I need to look and see if they're still overlay. I'm probably going to make another lineup or two. But that's the way I'm building is mid-range captains. If my Draftkings will load. Is taking a 0 viable? Yep, I absolutely think you can take a 0. I hate doing it just because it never works out for me. But I think it's perfectly fine tonight for sure. Carrollton or McBride? For me, it's McBride. She's just been better of late. Like obviously, Bridget can go crazy. If the three's falling, it's probably Bridget. But I'm more confident that McBride's going to take more shots, and like she's shot the ball better of late. Like last game, McBride was bad. Carrollton was okay. Game before that, McBride was really good. Carrollton was bad. Game before that, McBride was pretty good. Carrollton was bad. So they're both really scoring dependent, but I feel a lot more confident that McBride is going to put up her shots no matter what. Heidemann doesn't seem to be taking Seawill's minutes anymore. Who is losing minutes? So the way they're doing it is, let me see. Like Heidemann comes in for Seawill to start at the very, very end of the first quarter. Sometimes it's like at the 7 or 8 minute mark. She comes in for Seawill and plays like into the first quarter and then into the second quarter. Sometimes like she'll stay in for McBride to get a quick breather. But last game, she come in midway through the third and played the whole third quarter for Courtney Williams and then almost the entire fourth quarter for Bridget Carrollton. So that's something to keep an eye on. And then the game before that, she was just playing for Seawill, I believe. Yep. She just played for Seawill, and then she closed over Alana Smith. So it is like something to note. They closed with Heidemann over Alana Smith in game 1, the game they won. So that is that's something to think about. FanDuel, Carrollton, Laney, or McBride, Sloot, or Heidemann. So I know what build you got. The Carrollton Laney will be mega duped. So just letting you know. I personally would rather play McBride, Sloot, or Heidemann. I personally have a slight lean for Natisha Heidemann, but I don't mind Courtney Vandersloot. I think they're both pretty similar. I think Heidemann's minutes are a little bit safer. Upside's probably a little bit more on Sloot if she goes back to playing 20-ish minutes. But the Carrollton Laney is going to be very, very popular. That I'm staying away from that one. I would much rather play McBride over those two anyway. Did she play those minutes in game 2 because of the block? I don't think so. Like looking, they played everyone else in that blowout. So, I mean, Fee played the whole fourth quarter. Seawill played the whole fourth quarter. McBride played the whole fourth quarter. she just played over Bridget Carrollton, like just straight up played over in the fourth quarter. So, and then game one like closed over Alana Smith. So they're wanting to play her. So I'm pretty high on Natisha. I've taken a 0. Let's see. If taking a 0, who do you need to at captain? Yeah, if you're taking a 0, I think you have to play like Fee or Stewie at captain just to make up for that point differential. Because if you're playing a mid-range player at captain, but you're able to not have to take a 0, you need that gap. Like obviously, Fee and Stewie are going to be the top 2 scorers on the slate, or they should. So you need that gap to close with your mid-range captain if they're taking a 0. I think Fee comes in mid-30s, maybe close to 40% captain. I think Stewie's right there with her as well. So, I mean, if 70 to 75% of the field is going to be on those 2 at captain, they have to take a 0. Like they're taking a 0 or they're playing a lot of the cheaper plays rather than paying up and playing a lot of the mid-range. So I'm just really high on the mid-range tonight. I don't want to take a 0, so I'm not going that route. New sub, I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate it. I really do. I have a lineup so funky I'd start Cody if I could. Yeah. I mean, if you're taking a 0, you're pretty much just playing me. So I mean, I hope it works. I can't. Every time I play somebody that's just not going to play, it never works out. Like the players that I pick, they have floor games and it just busts. So I hope the winner. I hope someone's solo ships 10K in here tonight. Like, and if it's with a 0, I mean, last year there was people left and right shipping with 0s in the finals, but it seems like this year, game 1 and game 2, like it did not ship. So it's kind of weird. Not slate related, but we're doing any content around WNBA. Yep. I'll have some cool stuff going on in the off season after the season's over. Like this weekend, I'm probably going to like suck back into my shell for a couple weeks and kind of relax for a bit. And then I'll pop back. I'll be in the Discord for sure, but I'll have a little bit of content for probably some college football, MMA, and stuff. But yeah, I'll be like for the draft, for the Valkyries expansion draft. I'll have stuff for all that, and then a little birdie has told me that we're getting WNBA best ball on Underdog. It's not for sure yet, but if we get WNBA best ball, I will absolutely have content for that, and I'll do some streams of me just grinding drafts because I will max that. I'll have 150 best ball lineups. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Off season's always a lot of fun, and I also will do women's college basketball props in the Discord. I'll drop those in there. College basketball is like my favorite time of the year, right next to like WNBA startup. Laney or McBride? For me, it's McBride. I can't get there with Laney. Like, yeah, she had a good game last game. She shot the ball really well. I can't go there. Like, if she doesn't shoot 8 of 14, does she play 32 minutes? Probably not. They probably keep her around like this 26, 27 minute mark, and Sloot gets her minutes back. Like, she goes back, like she loses 5 minutes. Those 5 minutes go to Sloot, and like 4 peripheral stats, maybe 10 real life points. Like, let's say we'll give her 10 real life points, something that she hasn't hit since the first playoff game of the playoffs. She puts up like 17 fantasy points. I'd rather take my chances with McBride, who in a game they have to win, like she's probably going to play 35 to 38 minutes. Like she's going to be out there. So I'd just rather take my chances with her. Thanks for all the videos this season. Can't wait till next season. Yep. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys. JJ fantasy points. Let's look and see what I got her at. I have her at 30. That's not JJ. Yeah, 34-14. So middle of the road. Like for a spend up, I don't mind JJ, but she's just not been as aggressive as I want her to be in the postseason. When like she needs to be her like overly aggressive self, and she could just smash. Who do you think wins the game in real life? So I still have my Lynx future bet to win the championship, so I'm rooting for the Lynx. I just think New York's better. Like they blew game one, like 18-point lead, and they just blew it away. And then that game teetered on a blowout in game two, like the whole way. Minnesota kept it somewhat close. I think whoever wins this game tonight wins the series. I think New York's going to win. I hope not. I hope Minnesota wins, so I win money. But I think it's New York's time. I need a break. Like I've been going through it. McBride, Laney, or Smith, Phoebich. I'd go Alana and Phoebich. I really, really like Alana tonight. And I don't think a lot of people are going to play her. Any Dorka, I can't get there. Like if you're playing Dorka, yeah, I will say, like if you're punting a 0 and you have the extra $400 in salary, you absolutely should play Dorka over anyone else down here. Dorka could see the floor. Like last game, she played 2 minutes. Obviously, like she got a mini rotation at the end of the third quarter where she played a minute and a half. So she could realistically see the floor and like in a competitive game. So if you're punting a 0 and you have the salary, like you have that extra $400, you should absolutely play Dorka. Then it gets to the scenario where if you have the $400, maybe you should try and get $400 more to play Sandalosini. But I don't really want to play Dorka if I don't have to. I think it's far more likely that she just DNPs. Phoebich or Sloot. For me, it's Phoebich. Like she's just going to play 30 minutes, maybe more, and she's played really well. Like this series, she's been like a factor. Like obviously, like great at getting the peripheral stats. 10 and 8 in the 2 games. First game, 14 shot attempts. Second game, 3 shot attempts. All depends if the 3 ball's falling for her. But big upside on a player like her. But she's going to get you a decent floor. Like at 6K, I would rather play her for her upside over Benaja Laney because Laney's just not been getting the peripheral stats of late. So I would rather play Phoebich at lower ownership. On FanDuel, Stewie McBride or Sabrina Seawill. Stewie McBride. I can't fade. I can't fade Stewie. Especially with like her stock upside. I can't do it. Where you get more on FanDuel. Oh, looks like I'm only playing one lineup. I missed the overlay. Oh, well. All right. Save me some money. Let's see here. Make sure. I actually have my lineups made on FanDuel, something I never do. Let's look here. Make sure they're good. All right. I'm good with that. Yep. All right. Yep. I think all my lines are good. I got 2 on FanDuel and 1 on Draftkings. I was going to get a second one on Draftkings, but it filled while I was talking, so only 1 there. But really, really, really looking forward to this game. Like I really believe whoever wins this game wins the series. Minnesota wins this one. it might not make it back to New York. They may win both at home. It wouldn't shock me at all. So I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm hoping Minnesota wins it, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we're going to do some fun stuff this offseason for sure. We're going to have some fun stuff going on. I'll have some streams here and there, but as soon as if Underdog really does best ball, that's all I'm going to do all off season. I'll just be drafting best ball teams. All right, let's see here. I think we're pretty good on questions. If anybody has anything last minute here, just drop it in there. Let's look and see if I'm missing anything. Spread stayed about the same. I mean, New York favored on the road 3.5. I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever. I guess. Let's see here. Make sure nobody's asking any questions in Discord. Any love for Sably? I think she's fine. I just worry, like what's her ceiling? Like if you're playing Baby Sably, like her ceiling's probably like 10 to 12. But in the 2 games that she's played against them, 6 and 9 minutes, right at 7 fantasy points in each of them, I would just rather like get the $400 and play Natisha Heidemann. Like Natisha Heideman's going to play at least 13 minutes with the potential to play more. And like she has a much higher ceiling for $400 more. So I would just rather play Heidemann if you can. Like if the salaries like don't work out and you have to play someone in that range, Baby Sably is my favorite below Natisha Heidemann. Love it. Great year. Yep. I appreciate you guys. It's been a blast. Like this year has been a lot of fun. Next year, we'll go ahead and spoil it. We are going to do premium content next year. Wanted to did it last year. Wanted to do the YouTube grind this year. Still going to do YouTube. Still going to have daily videos for all the slates. So if you guys don't want to pay for content, you don't have to. I'll still have YouTube videos out for every slate, but we will have premium content for everything. Like I'll have not roster breakdowns. I'll have videos for FanDuel. I'll have videos for Draftkings. I'll have videos for Underdog. I'll have player pools with cores for all the sites. Premium content will be next year. Still have YouTube as well, but we're going to do a little bit of everything next year. It's going to be a lot more fun. Well, I don't know if it'll be a lot more fun. It'll be just as fun, but a lot busier for me. But we're gonna do a lot of stuff next year. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope I wish they would drop WNBA best ball like as soon as the season's over to get me by until women's college basketball kicks off. But I mean, we're only a couple weeks away from that, so it's right around the corner. And there's some fun teams in women's college basketball this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's the top 10 for women's college basketball is loaded. Yeah, I can't wait to see this ownership. I don't know how good with showdowns, my reads can sometimes be off on ownership, but I'd be pretty surprised at some of these. Like if McBride comes in higher owned than Benaj Laney, or if Febich comes in higher owned than Benaj Laney. I think Benaj Laney is just going to be a little steamed up from last game. I'm so uninterested in the NBA. I have been doing a little bit of props for the preseason, and man, these beat writers like they just want me to lose all my money. So I'm gonna dabble in some NBA. It's a lot. Like, I mean, on a big slate, there's just so much news you're looking out for. It's tough. So I won't play as much. And then like college football is like there was a 3-game slate last night, 2-gamer tonight. We're getting into the part of the season where college football's 5 nights a week. So there's a lot going on. But let's check some of this ownership. If it'll load. Be funny if FanDuel loads faster. As always, I'll go over like who I played, what lineups I went with. So on FanDuel, I went. Let's see here. FanDuel, one of my lineups, I went Fee at MVP, Stewie at Star, Courtney Williams at Pro, Kayla McBride, and Courtney Vandersloot. Fee is 84% owned, 56% at MVP. Stewie is 72% owned, 33% at Star. Courtney Williams, 72% owned, 45% at Pro. McBride's 47% owned, and Sloot is 25%. In my other lineup, I just flip-flopped them. I played Stewie at MVP, 33% as the MVP. Fee, 24% at Star. I played Febich in the utility spot, 21%. Heidemann in the utility spot at 10%. And then Courtney Williams in the pro spot, same as the other lineup. Then on DraftKings, this is what I want to see. I mean, 10K up top. So let's see here. Whoa. All right. So ownership is less than I thought. So Nafisa Collier, 67%, 16% captain. Brianna Stewart, 62%, 13% captain. So ownership did spread out a little bit. You got obviously Sabrina and JJ picked up quite a bit of ownership for the 2 big stars, only to be sub 70%. I did play Natisha Heidemann at captain, 6% or 7% pretty much at captain, 50% overall. Alana Smith, 32%. Take me to the promised land. Kayla McBride, 50%. Leonie Febich, 51%. That's pretty surprising. That means Benajelani's probably, wow. Benajelani, only 36%. Courtney Vandersloot, 42%. Xandel Assini, 16%. Courtney Williams, 58% and 15% at captain. Let's see here. Sabrina, 36% Sabrina Ionescu. That's good ownership. 7% at captain. Obviously, people taking zeros. Like, I personally like this lineup here. Sabrina captain with Fee and Stewie, and then playing McBride, Xandel Assini, and a full punt, like full zero. I just don't see that lineup working out. If it does, like, congrats. I was never doing something like that. Taking someone that's only playing like maybe 8 minutes and then taking another zero as well. So that's just something that I personally just didn't even consider. Then you have like this lineup isn't bad. Like you're playing the New York Big Three, Fade and Fee, and then playing Natisha Heidemann and Kayla McBride, and then playing like Dorka punting. But like once again, I'm just playing Fee, but they're playing for the New York Onslaught. So let's see here. Baby Sabali, 16%. So ownership's pretty spread out. Let's look and see. I should have looked at JJ's ownership when I had her. No, I can't. Oh, there she is. 32% JJ. So ownership's pretty spread out, but that is going to do it for me, guys. I'm going to get off here and get a drink. my throat is on fire. I feel like I could just breathe fire right now. Good luck to everybody. I appreciate you guys. It's been an absolute blast this year. Really looking forward to next year. I'm going to have a lot of fun stuff going on. And we'll still have videos trickling out. until the WNBA kicks off again. But I have off-season videos. I'll probably do some prop videos here and there for women's college basketball. But I'm really looking forward to it. I appreciate all you guys. We'll have the season recap video out probably like early part of next week. I'm gonna have to try and figure out a way to group all that together. That's gonna take me a bit, but I had a lot of winners, so I hope everyone enjoyed the season as much as I did. Good luck to all you guys. I hope to see somebody in the Discord sharing a big screenshot winning 10K tonight. So good luck to you guys, and we'll see you for the next one.